Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and I am a reseller on the Poshmark app and have been a fashion stylist for 20 years now from Dallas to New York. And I am taking that knowledge, applying it to my reselling business so that I can cut back on those hours and spend more time with my kids and my husband. And so on this channel, you will find information about tips and tricks on the reselling industry, as well as some fashion advice. So if that sounds like something that floats your boat, then stay tuned and watch. Today, we are going to talk about two things. One, I'm going to go over a quick synopsis of my October sales, and then two, how to break that down into an hourly rate. You know, the rest of the world operates basically on three ways. There's either like a salary, an hourly, or in the fashion industry, when you are styling, you have what's called a day rate. So what you will get paid for a day or sometimes a half day rate. So what we need to do is to kind of apply that to our world so that we can have a realistic viewpoint of what we're actually making. To me, time is money. Time is money. Even if it feels like it's a hobby, however you're doing this, time is money. So the way that I'm going to start is I'll start with my October sales, and you can download this from Poshmark. On Poshmark, you can find me on that app under Her Common Thread. I'm also on Instagram under Her Common Thread, as well as I have a website too. So there's that little nugget. Okay, so on the Poshmark platform app, there is a way to download your sales. So you can just download your sales, and now they actually have an active inventory report as well. But it's super easy, download it, and you can get all your numbers. So for October, I will tell you, it was not good. The first week of October, and I'll link it below, my account was throttled. So I only sold one item that entire week, but for the month, I sold 75 items. And so if you take out that one, though, if you take out just that 1 week where I only had one item, it actually averaged out to like 25 items a week, which is how I know I don't just sell one item a week. There was something going on. Something fishy was going on with my account. But we will keep it in there, and we will add it because every month is different. You know, every month, some months are up, some months are down. But I sold 75 items, and that averaged out to 18 3/4 per week and roughly 2.5 per day. My gross was $1,591.70. I paid $56.78 for shipping, which was 26 items. And my net after Poshmark took their cost, or took out their fees, was $1,205.98. And then once I took out my costs of what I paid for some items, it was $980. So $980 for the month of October. Not great. In addition to throttling, I'm in the middle of a move as well. So it's just not a great time for me. But so now that we have those, let's take that down into an even smaller number, just so that you can get an idea of what you're doing. So my average gross, which that's, all the money, like as if we could take that all home. It's not, it's just your gross. There's so much that comes out of that, was $21.22, which means that the average person who came into my closet, that's what they paid for an item. And I don't like that, but I'm seeing that more of a trend in my closet with Poshmark, and that's getting a little frustrating, but that's just what it was. Average shipping, even though 26 of those 75 items had the shipping, I went ahead and broke that down as of each item, and it was 76 cents per item. My average net after Poshmark and the shipping fees were taken out, $16.08, and my average purchase price is around $3. Right now, I'm paying up a little bit, which is why that number is a little higher than normal, because I did want to get a lot of new with tag items to prepare my closet for the holiday season. So $3 is going to be the average. And then, so what I took home at the end of the day was $13.08 per item. It's not terrible. I would definitely love that number to be closer to 20, but it is what it is. So now how do we get our hourly rate out of these numbers? And I will tell you, every month it's going to change because every month how much you're making changes. It's not like other jobs. So, but this will give you a way to figure it out from month to month. So when you have an item, one item, you will touch a minimum of 9 times before it heads out the door. And that is kind of insane to think about. I mean, think of the amount, once again, amount of time that it takes. So the 9 times that I came up with that you will touch this item in some way, shape, or form is number one, sourcing. So whether you are driving to the bins, a thrift store, a friend's house to go through their closet, whether you're doing research online and ordering on the internet, you are spending time sourcing for that piece. Number 2, cleaning and preparing it. So you get it home, you have to take price tags off. Inevitably, there's a stain on something, so you have to treat that. My pieces, what I like to do, I have a function on my dryer that is a steam and de-wrinkle. So I try to save time by putting everything that can be. Of course, obviously, there are some fabrics that you cannot do that with, but I put everything into that. And as long as I get it out pretty quickly, the steaming process is not horrible. But I do that for 2 reasons. Obviously, I want the item to be in the best shape possible when it arrives to the customer. And 2, I don't want my house to smell. Like, I use a room in my home and I don't want it to stink, or I don't want it to smell like a thrift store so that's what I do. The next thing is you got to photograph it. So once you clean it, steam it, maybe replace a button, those sorts of things, you have to take a picture of it. Then after you take a picture of it, you have to measure it. So then you take your measurements, and then if you're like me, you want it out of your way and done and put away. So then you have to put it, I have all of my things in a bag already sealed so that when it's time for shipping, I can just grab it. And I don't like death piles. I like to get through everything. So as soon as I finished measuring it, I like to get it in its bag and put it away. And then after that, you have to list it. So now you have to, spend your time listing it. Then after you list it, you have to share it. So now you're sharing it. Maybe you're, sending out offers on it. Maybe you're putting it in a bundle, but that's more time on that item. And then at the very end, you have to ship it. And then you can finally say goodbye to that piece. So that's time, guys. It's a lot of time. I mean, if you think about it, you might be spending between 15 and 20 minutes per item at the end of the day when you count it all up. That might actually be what it comes out to. But I have my notes here so that I can get through this and I can be right, because I'm about to throw a ton of numbers at you. So get ready. I'm a numbers girl. It's how we make our business better. That's who I am. So the way that you break this down into your hourly rate, we will start at what do you do on a daily basis? So for me, now this is going to be for me in my particular business. Yours might be different, but you can use this as, a frame to apply to what you're doing. Sharing. I share my entire closet. Right now, I think I have like 525 or something items. I share my entire closet twice a day, once in the morning, once to the party in the evening. And then I share half of it to the parties in the afternoons, like whatever is going on at the party, plus like half of my closet up. And that breaks down to about an hour and 45 minutes every day that I'm just sharing, which is 8.75 hours a week. Sourcing. Right now I'm about to move, so this is about to change, but right now I go twice a week. My thrift store is 15 minutes from me, so start to finish, I spend about 3 hours going there, coming back, or going there, sourcing, and driving back. And I do that twice a week. So 6 hours a week. Listing. Now, I will tell you this. Some of these I'm actually only going to do on a 5-day week. I'm not doing 7 days a week because I don't do a lot on the weekends. I don't share to every party on the weekends. I have things set back in my draft so that I can list them quickly. on the weekends. I like to spend time with my family. I don't photograph or measure things on the weekends. I just do a very bare minimum on the weekends. And then also sometimes during the week, if I do wind up doing something on a weekend, during the week, it's because during the week I've missed a day. So I've, inevitably somebody has something at school that I have to go to, or whatever, something has gone on. So this is going to be based on a 5-day week. Okay. Listing. So I like to list 5 to 10 items per day. So I'm going with an average of 7. And listing for me can take anywhere between, 2 to 5 minutes. 2 minutes if it's something that's just bada bing, bada boom. 5 minutes if I need to do some research. What does this generally go for? That sort of thing. So I'm going to go with an average of 3 minutes. 3 minutes to list an item, which is 21 minutes a day, and 105 minutes a week, which is 1.75 hours a week. Next, prepping, cleaning, steaming, mending, all of those things. So I said that I like to list 5 to 10 a day, which basically is somewhere around 35 to 50 items a week. I do photograph more because like I said, I like to have things in the draft. I like to have things in the backup. So when I prepping, I need to prep more because I photograph more. I generally do about 75 items a week. So that is going to break down to about 2 hours of cleaning. My cycles on my dryer are 15 minutes every time I put them in there. And then I might have to steam something before I photograph it. So averaged out, it's about 2 hours worth of cleaning, prepping, steaming, that sort of thing per week. Photographing and measuring. Now I photograph my things on a mannequin, so it takes a little bit longer. I also like to photograph tags. I photograph details about things, but I strive for 75 items a week photographed and I would say I spend about 5 minutes per item. And that includes measuring as well, photographing and measuring, which breaks down to 6.25 hours a week. Next, inventory. Like I said, as soon as I'm finished taking a picture, I like to put it in a bag and put it away. And that takes maybe a minute. So 75 items a week, 75 minutes, an hour, 1.25 hours. And then finally, the last thing that I have to do is ship. So shipping, on average, in October, excusing that one really bad week, and then I had another bad week just because I'm moving, dealing with all that kind of stuff. On average, we'll just say about 21 pieces a week. It's between 21 and 25 right now, but we're going to go with 21 because we're trying to base it on October. So 21 pieces a week. Now my shipping is a little longer. Like I said, I was a stylist, still am. I still do that stuff, still go to Fashion Week, all that, but 21 items a week. I like to, what was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Choo-choo. I like to give styling advice or styling tips. I like to make my notes, my things very personal. So what I do is I will, locate the item, print out my label from my Dymo printer, write on the back of it, what it's for so I don't get it mixed up with anybody else's pieces. And then I have a stick-on labels, and I write little notes on each one of those labels, type them out, print them, and then I have pre-printed postcards with my closet name and everything on it, and all I do is just take that little sticker off, stick it on there, and they have a personalized styling tip note. So because I do all of that, it takes about 7 minutes per item. So roughly that's 2.5 hours a week for shipping. So all of that added together, I told you, is a lot of numbers. Are you still with me? Are you still out there? It's a lot of numbers. All that added together is 28.5 hours a week. So that's a part-time job. That is not full-time, but 28.5 hours per week. So now what we're going to do, we're going to circle back around to that net profit that we made for the month of October. So for the month of October, I brought home $980. Now then, if you divide that by the number of total hours that I made per week, then that is, you're going to make it get all the way down, and then you obviously divide by hours, all of that. I made $8.60 per hour for the month of October. Which is not good. I mean, this is like, you know, less than straight out of high school pay for me. So this is just a way, you know, you can see what you're making. You can see, you know, maybe what you're learning from this is, okay, what do I need to back up off of my time? What am I spending too much time on? You know, do I need to do some other things? Do I need to start cross-listing more on other platforms? Do I need to start charging more? What are some things that I need to do to get that hourly rate a lot further up there? I mean, it's great right now. You know, I can pay for our car every month. I can pay for, you know, piano lessons. I can pay for all of those sorts of things with this check, which is wonderful. And I'm so thankful for it. But, you know, it would be nice if it were a little bit more. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that you're able to take that, apply that, however it is, to your business. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all those things. Like I said, you can find me on the Poshmark app at Her Common Thread, on Instagram or Her Common Thread, and I have an internet. Of course I have an internet. I have a website with my styling stuff, and you can find that at hercommonthread.com as well. So I will see you next time. Bye.